blue disc hovered in the air between us. Silent, still, waiting. For a long moment, neither Greg nor I moved. The apartment felt smaller than it had a few minutes earlier, like the walls had quietly leaned inward to listen. The laptop screen cast a pale glow across the room. Lattice network connection request detected. The message blinked patiently. Greg rubbed the back of his neck. Okay, he said slowly, I think we need to define a few things. Like what? Like who exactly is asking to connect to the alien brain now living in your hand? I looked down at the disc. It no longer felt alien. That was the strange part. It felt familiar. Not because I understood it yet, but because I could sense it. The way you instinctively know where your hand is, even with your eyes closed. The lattice was part of my awareness now. Faint threads of perception radiated from the device like invisible nerves spreading through the room. I could feel the metal in the coins scattered on the floor, the wiring in the walls, even the steel beams running through the building's structure. Greg noticed the way I was staring at the wall. You doing the metal Jedi thing again? Something like that. He sighed. Great, my partner. He's now a walking electromagnetic wizard. I ignored the comment and focused inward. The connection request pulsed inside the lattice. It wasn't just a signal, it felt like a handshake. Structured, organized, intentional. Whoever or whatever was on the other end understood the system, which meant one thing. They were using the same technology. Greg leaned over the laptop. So whoever's trying to connect has their own lattice node. Greg's eyebrows rose, meaning another one of those discs, probably. And another architect, most likely. Greg leaned back slowly. That's unsettling. Why? Because the gray man built a gravity-defying immortality machine in his apartment. He gestured around the room, and there are more of them out there. The laptop beeped softly. Connection attempt 2. Greg pointed at the screen. Well, they're persistent. I closed my eyes briefly. The disc warmed in my hand. The request grew clearer. There was structure inside it, encoded identifiers, nodes, architects, signatures, network architecture. The gray man hadn't been inventing something new. He had been joining something already in progress. Greg watched me carefully. You getting something? Yes. What? I opened my eyes. They're identifying themselves. Greg leaned forward and I swallowed slowly. There are more of them than I expected. How many? Right now I can detect 5 nodes. Greg blinked. 5 active lattice devices, and each one has an architect. Yes. Greg stared at the gray man across the room. Well, he isn't answering his emails anymore. I nodded, which probably means the network just lost one. Greg pointed at the disc in my hand. And you replaced him, looks like it. The laptop chimed again. Connection attempt 3. Greg sighed. Alright. What? We either accept the call or unplug the phone. I looked down at the disc again. The device pulsed calmly, not demanding, not forcing, waiting for input. Architect command, layer active. I could accept or reject the request. Greg folded his arms. What's your gut say? My gut says we need to know who they are. holding the note. Greg thought about that for a second. Yeah, that could be good or bad. Greg shrugged. Well, most of my best decisions start exactly like this. You're not helping, just saying. I focused on